All right, so now we're gonna talk about how like saving the changes to the backend. So for example here, so if I add a theme here, so it's gonna send the request to the backend and save the changes to the JSON file. All right, so before going into that, first let's take a look at this JSON file, which is here. Right, so this is the current JSON file. So I'm gonna make it smaller, a little bit smaller here. All right. So what it does is that, so I have a listener here for this element, for this outcome. So I'm gonna go to so I'm gonna give this open and go to this example 12, in which I have make elements. So in this make elements, I have like the input, I have add a listener here. So for this input, if the enter key is pressed or this add theme button is clicked, and then we're going to run this function called add theme. Okay, so and this add theme is in this manage themes and key words. It's called add theme. Okay. So basically what it does is that it's going to get the values here, turn that into a lowercase, trim it, and then clean up the value here. And then if that value is not an empty string, then I'm going to bring back the existing themes and keywords which was saved in the table, the property data of this table. So if we go into this div and into this table, you will see that there is a property called data, in which it contains the existing array of this themes and keywords. All right, so I'm going to bring it back and turn that into an array, right? And then from that array, I'm going to get all the themes. And then I'm going to match the themes to see if that outcome has already one of the theme there. If it does not exist, I'm going to add the theme back into the existing theme, but this time we're going to make a new dictionary with the theme with the keywords, but there is an empty array of keywords yet. So with that, I'm going to push it back into this existing keyword array. All right. So with that, I'm going to make a stringified array to compare that with the existing array, existing string. So if the new one is different, then I'm going to do a couple of things. The first is that I'm going to send this string back into the data property of this table. I'm going to update that property. Note that this is very important because the following update is going to be based on this. Okay. So the second is that I'm going to send a request. At this time, the request is called update themes and keywords. So remember that earlier I have the send request and get response, which is a common function, right? So this one is going to take the event. In this event, I'm going to say, okay, so if it is to update the backend, whatever. So if it is update the themes and keywords, then I will run this update backend themes and keywords function. All right. So previously, just to record that previously we already have the other functions like load the themes and keywords from the backend, and this time it is to the other way around. So we're gonna send the data back to the backend. All right. So in this function, is in the manage and keys and themes and keywords file. All right, so basically this one is gonna send a request, and this time the request is called update themes and keywords. All right, so it's gonna take the value from this data property of the theme table. All right, and it's gonna send it back, and this time the request data is different from the one for loading the themes and keywords. For that file, we only need to have a location, but for this one, we're gonna need the data as well. So because the data has to be sent back so as to be saved and update, you know. Right, so with that, the rest parts are kind of similar. Is that we're gonna send a request and send it back, but this time if it is successful, we don't have to like bring it back and draw the table from here. We don't have to do that. We're just gonna receive a message to say the save is successful. Then we're gonna display that message in the console log. Alright, so this is at the front end, and now let's go to the back end. We're gonna have this back end py. So you can see that this time I have added a new function called update themes and keywords using the JSON from the front end. Alright, and that one again is added into this prepare data.py. And I have this function. Basically, this function is going to take the request data. So the request data, remember, we have two parts. One is the location, the other is the data. So we're going to take this two part, and we're going to write that into the local file, which is the existing file here in this data output, which is this file. Remember, it is this file. Okay, so then after writing that will be the same thing. We're gonna prepare a message to send back to say the data has been updated. All right. So now to write this JSON actually is gonna take two parts. The first is that I am gonna find the existing file if it exists. I'm gonna find this path, the file name without the extension, which is called the root, and the extension name, which is called the extend. All right. So the finding the path is called getting the head. So the full path of this is gonna split into two parts, which is called the head and tail. Tail is the file name with the extension number, and the head is anything before that, not including the last backlash. Okay, so I have the head, I have the tail. So the head is the path. Then from the tail, I will get the name of this JSON file. So based on this, I can construct the name of the backup file, which is the head plus a slash and plus the root, which is this part of the name, and then plus a suffix, which is backup.json. So basically it's going to make a file like that. All right, so the first time, so before I write to the new data to this JSON file, I'm going to make a backup, you know, and override the existing one using this copy to method. And then after that, I'm going to write the JSON file with the JSON data I have from the front. Okay, so that's how it is updated at the back end. So going back to this back end, so now I'm gonna send it back, which is the same thing, just send back a short message, and once it is successful, it's gonna display that in the console log. Okay, so this is the part of the function at the front end called update backend themes and keywords. So let's trace it back. So this one is run because the event is called update themes and keywords using this function, right? So then going back to this management. So remember last time we ran this because the request is the update themes and keywords, right? That's how it is in this line, and this is this is in this line, and this is because we want to add a theme there, right? So after this, for adding the theme, the last thing I'm gonna do here is to redraw the table. So this one is quite standardized. I'm not gonna go into the details because we have explained that before. Just a little bit change, but here that by adding this this cell for the keywords, I also add an action that's called losing the focus, which is called blur. So if it is blurred, then I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna introduce that later. Right. So apart from that, nothing changed. So these are the things that I'm gonna do when the outcome has been input, and I'm gonna hit add theme or enter. So the first time I'm gonna click this add theme. So you will see that now. So going to the backend, if you go to this JSON file and format it, you will see that now we have a new theme there, right? So then going back to this file, so there is a new row contains the containing the new theme, but there is new no keyword yet. So if you go to this table, so if you go to this table, you will see that for this data property, the contents has been updated by adding this outcome theme with no keyword. Okay, so that's how it works for this add theme. So it will take the same idea if I'm gonna put in an outcome and I want to delete that theme, right? So this time what it is gonna do is, again, we're gonna go back to this make elements. So now by press the enter key or click that delete button, we're going to trigger this function called the delete theme. And going back to this management teams, whatever. So delete theme is a function. In this function that's similar, it's going to find the value here. Then it is going to match that value to the existing to a theme in the existing themes and keywords array. All right. So it's just that this time, if the theme has been matched, then I'm gonna delete the whole element from this existing theme and keyword array. All right. So after deleting that using this delete method, so actually it does not re-index the whole array. It's just gonna leave an empty space in the deleted position. So in that case, I'll need to re-index that by excluding those empty or undefined places. Okay, so with that, the rest of the part is quite the same. So it's gonna compare whether the string has been changed to the as comparing to the existing themes and keywords. So if it has been changed, then I'm going to update that in the data property of this table. Then I'm going to update the themes and keywords at the backend, which is to update the contents in this JSON file. And also I'm going to redraw the table. All right, so now let's just go back to this. And this time, instead of clicking this, I'm going to test pressing the enter key. So, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention here is that so because of this deletion, I add a mechanism to confirm whether I'm going to delete that or not. So I'm going to say OK. So you will see that now that theme has been deleted. And if we go back to that JSON file, you will see that the outcome theme has been, and also the keywords has been deleted. All right, so this is the second part. The third is that it also works that if I'm gonna select a theme and then select a keyword from the list and delete it. So let's say that I'm gonna delete this word persistence. Okay, I'm gonna delete that. All right. So that's the same thing as either pressing the enter key or clicking the button. So this time it's gonna trigger an a function called delete keyword. Okay, so then let's go to this manage themes and keywords. So it's gonna have this delete keyword function. So it's gonna be similar. So it's just that this time we're gonna find the theme which is inputted, which is input here, and also I'm gonna find the keyword to delete, which is here. So with that, then again, I'm going to confirm that, and I'm going to bring back the existing themes and keywords, and I'm going to match the theme. So once the theme has been matched, then I'm going to find all the key words in that element. Okay, so with all the key keywords in the array, I'm gonna match that to the one that is to be deleted. So if it is found, then I'm gonna delete that keyword from the array. And again, because this delete function does not actually delete that, it just leaves an empty space. So I'm gonna exclude those empty space in that array. And after that, I'm gonna send the updated keyword array back to the keywords field of that existing themes and keywords array, right? So the rest of that is the same thing. Then now I'm gonna compare whether it has been changed or not. If it is changed, then I'm gonna send a new data into this data field of this theme table. Then we're going to send it back to update, which is to update this JSON file. And then I'm going to redraw the table. All right. So basically, these are the things to do. So this time, adherence, I'm going to delete this one. So I'm going to click this button or press it. It's the same thing. I'm going to click it. So it's confirmed that I want to delete that. Now you see that it has been deleted. So in this table, the data property has been updated, and if we go to the JSON file, so the keyword of compliance has been deleted. All right, so basically these are the mechanisms to like add, delete the themes, or to add to delete a particular keyword from a theme. All right. So now the next is that I'm gonna make it more flexible, that I can edit the keywords in the row, right? So for this part, so remember earlier I said in this in managing the themes, when I'm adding the TD, when I'm adding the TD for the keywords, I have a listener here, which is to listen to whether losing focus to that input area. All right. So if so, I'm going to run this function called edit keywords. So the one to edit keywords works like this. So once I leave the focus up there, then it's gonna find this DOM, right? And it's also gonna determine what is the team property of the DOM. Sorry, I forgot to mention again. When I'm making this this TD, so actually I already added a property called team using the associated team of the keywords, right? So now by getting the DOM element, so it is good enough to find the team and also the value, which are the keywords in this DOM element. So now what I can do is that I can determine the keyword string from here. From the string, I can split the string into an array, right? Split by the comma. And also I'm gonna trim it, turn all the things into a lower case. And also I'm gonna filter to get rid of those empty places. So for example, if I by mistake enter 2 comma with nothing in between, so it is gonna be ignored from this keywords array. All right. So with this, and also I have the team of the keyword. So I can go back and bring back the existing teams and keywords array, and then loop for each element to match the team to the current team, right? So if it is matched, I'm simply going to replace the existing keyword array with the array I obtained from the edited value here. Okay, so that's the part. So the rest of that is similar. So the first is that if the teams and keywords array has been changed, then I'm gonna send the new data into this data property of the team table. So then I'm gonna send an update request to the backend to update this JSON. Right? So the only thing different here is that I don't have to draw the table. I just have to use the new array obtained from the string, right? But it has been standardized, trimmed, getting to low case, and also filtered for those empty values. And then I'm gonna send it back and display that as a string in this field. Okay, now with that said, I'm gonna go back. For example, I'm gonna add back the compliance here. So I'm gonna say compliance. All right. And then lose focus, and you will see that immediately. So this add back and stay there. This table, the data has been, the data property has been updated. Now I have a compliance here, and going back to the backend. So in this JSON file, so the compliance keyword has been added there. So we can do more tests. For example, so we're gonna have 2, 3, a lot of different spaces here. And I have an enter. It is really messy. So then I'm gonna add the one called the persistence. So this time I'm gonna make it like a wrong case spelling, but at least hopefully that, yeah, so I have the word right. Okay, so then I'm gonna have like another way of doing that, like so what are the other words that I can have for like discontinue. All right. So I'm just gonna have this words and see how it is gonna happen. What is gonna happen? So lose focus is gonna be get aligned. So excluding those with empty values and turn all the keywords into the lowercase. And then the data field has been updated with these new words, as well as the JSON file at backend that has been updated. All right, so basically these are the things I want to say about this these new functions to add themes, delete, and to manage the themes and keywords. So for now, this part is quite complete. So we have a mechanism to bring to the front the text, for example, here. So it's actually it's the same idea that I've added a listener to the enter key pressing in addition to clicking this button. So it also works. And so let's say that I'm gonna bring in the speed, which is this text, right? So remember earlier we said that we have a mechanism that we can highlight the words style, right? We can highlight the words as typing. We can update it to lock it up. So then we can go back. For example, we can change that to like medication adherence, right? Yeah. So, and we can reset that. And on the other hand, we can manage the teams and keywords. We can add a team, we can delete a team, we can edit the keywords and this. And also, if this list is too long, we can select a team and a particular keyword to delete it. All right, so these are basically that we have all these basic functions ready. And now we're going to move to the next stage, which is to bring in the spacey natural language package, which is a very powerful package. So with that, we can do some more work on this analysis.